effect, right? Certainly when it comes to heat like this. But Skye had a fantastic performance from start to almost finish at this point. And she is going to be surprised herself, and she's going to surprise a lot of people. And again, when this race started, we did say if there was a dark horse or an upset, we wouldn't be surprised to see her walk away with it or run away with it today. And she capitalized on someone else not having a perfectly executed race.
Well, that, and she also, remember, had the fastest bike split, 4:58.39. She came ahead of Sarah and Imogen at the end. She got off the bike in first. She did not leave transition at first. She left in third, but she did find that lead and come down into T2 in first place. But right now, that final right turn where other athletes continue for their third and fourth laps, Skye Moench from the United States is onto the storied red carpet of the Roma plots here at the 2019 Mainova Ironman European Championship Frankfurt. Look at this. She's allowing herself to soak it up. And right now, our leader and soon-to-be winner of this event, Skye Moench. Let's let it go down to that finish line 5. And here, as she's called across the line. The long stretch.
Wow, what a performance by Skye Moench. Fantastic, as you said, start to finish, consistent, fastest bike ride of the day, and she will probably end up with the fastest run of the day as well in those oppressive conditions. And again, she certainly wouldn't wish upon what happened to Sarah True, but she put herself in a position to capitalize if something like that happened to a competitor, and she put herself out there, and she had her first win as an Ironman athlete and at a European championship, nonetheless.
I tell you what, 3:14 is what she ran today, and that 3:14 time just a scratch better than she did last year, and in much better conditions last year. So I'd say this is a definite improvement. Obviously, finish-wise, she crushed it. So Skye Moench coming home, the champion of today's Mainova Ironman European Championship Frankfurt. She's going to Kona. She's taking home a fistful of cash, and she's got that first ever victory at high-level international competition. What an incredible show, and really showing the exact way you have to manage and dole out every bit of energy that you have to perfection as she sits at the finish line. And really, I think for the first time, I mean, Matt, less than a kilometer, she was in the lead, and she didn't get enough time to really process it. I mean, she just came across, took the lead, didn't even get to pass anyone. She just found herself in the lead, and it's got to be a moment of just complete and utter disbelief. Really just a hard disparity in contrast. The highest of highs for her right now with the lowest of lows that we shared.
How does that sound?
Oh, that's unreal. Totally unexpected.
So what did you expect coming into the race?
I mean, I expect a lot out of myself, so I was expecting to put on, a great performance, but nothing's ever guaranteed, and I wasn't focused on a result. I was just focused on giving my best day, and I guess that was winning today.
Pretty much, yes, absolutely. Just quickly take us through your race from the beginning to the end.
Yeah, I don't think I had a great swim start. I don't know what I swam, but based on where I came out, I was a little disappointed in myself, but it's a long day, so I just got on with the bike and rode with some ladies, and I think about 120K to go. I just was like, I can go harder, so I just kind of surged, and no one came with me and at first, and then I think Sarah True and
Imogen Simmonds.
Yeah, I caught Imogen. Anyway, so bike, I felt pretty good. Towards the end, I was really, really hot on the bike, and it had me a little nervous for the run, but then I got on the run, and, my coach said, we're not racing the first lap, we're just eating and drinking and staying cool, and that's what I did, and, well, that's what I did for the whole marathon.
Smart coach. So tell us, with the performance here today, how excited are you about Kona, and how much are you looking forward?
Well, I think this was a good practice because I heard Kona's really hot, so I've never been to Kona. But yeah, thrilled because I haven't been doing triathlon that long relative to some of these women, and I think going to Kona as a pro is a big accomplishment in and of itself. So
It absolutely is, and
He's the second position, which also will earn her that spot to Kona. So maybe we'll keep her second Ironman will be at the Ironman World Championship, Matt.
Yeah, that's you know, I'm sure something she was hoping for, you know, but it's kind of a dream to come across in a podium at a championship race, your first Ironman, and let alone getting a Kona spot. Also, great performance from her. And you know, we doubted a little bit that maybe she was going out a little bit too hot, and that maybe her lack of experience was showing. But joke's on us, because she's had a very, very well-rounded race.
And I think she did go out too hard, but you know what's beautiful? She's fit enough to back it up. So I think she went out, she got away, she pushed, and then they brought her right back in.
For her first marathon in an Ironman, she's going to run about a 3:23 and come across the line in second place in a few minutes here.
And in extreme conditions, we've talked about very hot, and everybody says something like this can be comparable to Kona. This could be worse in some ways, but right here, looking at Imogen Simmonds tackling some of the worst weather, or the toughest weather we've seen. We see a lot. I mean, Ironman Malaysia serves it up pretty good. We've got a few extreme races. A lot of people love this heat. The pros do tend to do well, but that fine line that they're dancing on, Matt, we saw the unfortunate side of that is that you are that tough, and you know, we kept saying it was Sarah True would see her competitive spirit overrun every time, every physiological symptom that she had, every single one of them, even down to the end when she was coming down. But right now, it's all about the Swiss athlete making it home in second place. Imogen Simmonds, let's give it up as she comes home second place today. Wow, what a day to finish your first Ironman.
Well-deserved smile she has on her face coming through this finish line. About 15 minutes ago, she wouldn't have thought she'd be coming across in second place, no doubt, and a ticket to Kona nonetheless.
That's right. So a big smile, and crowds still quite flush here at the finish line in the Roma plots, but that's not all, folks. These crowds may take a little break here after some of these top finishers get across the line. They're going to go fuel up, have some apple wine, and maybe even a stein of beer and some schnitzel or any sort of German delight.
Yeah.
Fuel up, but guess what, Matt? They will be back, and all the way until 10 p.m. local time, they're going to be screaming and yelling. Fireworks at the finish line, one of the most electric shows. I had the chance to be there, out down on the ground once, just watching. But look at that, an embrace from a proud coach, Jürgen Zach, saying, job well done. Congratulations on second place, a former Ironman champion out of Germany.
Fantastic performance by coach and athlete, but all athlete out here today. She was tough from the very beginning. You know, it takes guts to be able to be out on that bike course all by yourself. And, you know, if she held in with those other women early, maybe she wouldn't have had the momentum she needed to, you know, get that space and be as far forward as she could have during the race. And a great, obviously, first Ironman try, and I'd say it's a pretty successful one.
Solid. You can't argue with that. Podium finish is always good, as you mentioned. European Championship is even better, and for the first time, fantastic. So, again, to recap, we had things blow up pretty late in the game where Sarah True, longtime leader, fighting it out on the run, didn't make it to the finish line. Most unfortunately, just running way low on blood sugar and got into the wobbly state. Some of the worst stuff you'll see in Ironman racing, not uncommon at the top end where athletes move. But let's jump on down there to the finish line in the Roma plots to hear from our first and second place finishers.
She's taking a quick sip here, and now she's sitting. That's a good sign. She had something to drink. Imogen Simmonds, congratulations, second place at the Ironman European Championship at your Ironman debut. Other than incredibly tired, how stoked are you right now?
I can't really believe it. It was all like, I only found out about 500 meters ago that I was in second place, so I'm a bit overwhelmed, but honestly, Ironman hurts.
Ironman hurts, and today was a really hot one. Was the heat a problem? You train a lot in Thailand. Did you struggle with the heat anyways?
I mean, it was hot, and I just adjusted my pace accordingly, and it worked out, but it's burning out there, and there are sections where you can just feel the heat off the tarmac, but I managed it today, and that's what counts, right?
That is what counts, and hey, second place here.
But now, look at Jen Annett. She's celebrating earlier than I've ever seen anyone celebrate, only because the gift was handed to her early. Often we're aware, we're sort of afraid, but she's been told, wait, you know what? That fourth place you were holding on to for a long time, it just turned in third. So put your hands up. Her lead bike gave her a little bit of love and said, you better take up some of this, soak it up. And that's just what Jen did. So good for the Canadian athlete. She came here nervous, right? This is really making her nervous, the heat. And I think she probably raced a lot more conservatively, or maybe a little bit more trepidatiously than she might have. And I think it's paid off for a nice third place finish, soon to be, for Jen Annett.
Yeah, and she's been at this for a while, and the last couple of years, her trajectory has gone upwards, and she's shown herself to be one of the strongest cyclists in the sport, having some really amazing bike splits, and a very consistent, solid run is going to get her across the finish line in third place in a European Championship. And again, it's that tough athlete often rises to the top in really, really hard conditions. And Jen Annett is certainly a tough athlete, and she paced herself well. And she's gonna, she just found out a few minutes ago that she's on the podium, so she's gonna enjoy this finish line a lot more than she thought she was going to 10 minutes ago. And that, as you said, one of the coolest finish lines in our sport. And the smile doesn't really get any bigger on Jen Annett.
Well, you know what's cool is just last year, Ironman Arizona, she finished third, just ahead of Skye Moench, who took fourth. They're back at it again today. Flip-flopped the order. We took Skye Moench in first. Second place, Imogen Simmonds from Switzerland. And now Canada's Jen Annett taking home that third coveted spot at the Mainova Ironman European Championship, Frankfurt. Congratulations, Jen. That's how you celebrate. Her previous best, as we said, she had a second place at Lake Placid. She's had a second place at Canada, third place at Arizona, twice over, and she's also done quite well. Podiums up in Canada a number of times. She calls Penticton home, the place where Ironman Canada has spent a lot of time. So a great spot, and really just a fun celebration there at the finish line. So surprised. I think she and Imogen, everyone was surprised. I mean, from the commentary booth all the way down to the athletes on course, we couldn't have predicted this turning out the way it did.